Hey everyone, how's it going? Elliot here again. Sit tight, get yourself a little beverage, and get ready for the video that we've all been waiting for. So the test game that we're going to be using to compare these different consoles to is Super Mario Bros. Deluxe. I've brought with me a couple of special things that we can also use to kind of compare these two. I've got my Game Boy Color Lite, which is a really cool mod that was done for me by a guy called Esoteric Mods. You can check out that video, it's on my channel as well. It's a really nice backlit AGS 101 Game Boy Lite with a really cool screen. And I've also brought with me my trusty pink AGS 101 Game Boy Advance SP. So we'll have a couple of different things to test these two. I'm really excited for this. This is going to be quite interesting. I'm also going to be doing a teardown of the BittBoy because that's something that you said you've wanted as well. So the first thing we can look at is the aesthetics of these. Please bear in mind that this was actually a clear color with black buttons when it first came down. I tried to make it look more like a DMG Game Boy by doing a custom paint job to it and putting some custom buttons in and a custom D-pad from an actual official Game Boy. But that is something that you have to do yourself if you choose to get one of these things. They actually come in a stock clear housing. The Retro Mini comes in a clear housing and a kind of smoky black one. I have the smoky black one here. And the BittBoy, as far as I know, only comes in one color scheme, and that is super accurate to the actual Game Boy itself. We've kind of got these maroon buttons on the front, and then you've also got the grey housing with a black D-pad, grey start and select buttons as well, which is quite important, a grey bezel for the screen, and yeah, the entire design is very reminiscent of the actual Game Boy itself. So is the Retro Mini. It's very similar in design, a little bit more kind of squared at the top, and then the Odroid-Go is probably as far from the original Game Boy design as you can get. So taking those into consideration, I think the winner out of all of these, for me, is definitely the BittBoy, mainly because it looks like a tiny little mini Game Boy, which I think is just really cute. Although, in terms of quality, I'd have to go for the plastic of the Odroid-Go. The plastic on the Odroid-Go is absolutely excellent. It's just a super durable, high quality plastic. So really quickly, just to cover the size, the Odroid-Go is the biggest, yet the thinnest. The Retro Mini comes in second, and then the BittBoy comes in at the smallest. So that's all pretty visual there. You guys can see that all. The Retro Mini has the smallest screen, and then the Odroid-Go, I believe, actually has the exact same size 2.4 inch screen. So that's something important to take into consideration. That doesn't mean to say that the Odroid has the highest quality screen, because out of all of these, the highest quality screen is the BittBoy, and you will see that very evidently in a little bit. So I guess it's now time to turn each of these on and have a look at the software, because software is quite important when it comes to these things, and we'll also talk about what is involved when actually buying these, what you need to do to get them out of the box and into your pocket and ready to go and play some games on them. So the Retro Mini comes stock with a bunch of Game Boy Advance games. Now that is a very important thing to keep into consideration. There is LNR triggers on the back of this device, which allows you to actually play Game Boy Advance games. Now that, as I said, I'm not going to be trying to include the fact that this one plays other consoles, but that is quite an important feature because a lot of people really enjoy those titles. That also means you can play your Super Nintendo Entertainment System games. The Odroid plays Game Boy Color and Game Boy games, which for me is the most important thing, but it also plays the Nintendo Entertainment System, Master System, Game Gear, and ColecoVision. And there's also updates as this thing has been released, adding more and more emulators. The BittBoy plays NES, GB, and GBC, although I'm not sure yet if there's going to be further updates supporting more emulation. But as I said, I'm more focused on the Game Boy and Game Boy Color aspect of this, but a lot of people wanted me to add the Retro Mini into the review. So the Retro Mini does not play Game Boy Color and Game Boy games, but it does play Game Boy Advance games, which is something that you wanted me to include in the review, but not necessarily meaning that this is a direct competitor. It's more so going to be out of the Odroid and BittBoy for now. So we'll set this to the side just for a moment, and what I want to do is actually compare the speeds of the emulation. Right, I'm gonna press B on all three of them at the same time and we should get into the menu. 3, 2, 1, go. I started each of these at the same time here, so we should actually begin to see whether or not there's a speeding up issue or a slowdown issue. The BittBoy is coming in probably at the fastest, the Game Boy Color then second, and then the Odroid is definitely running at the slowest speed. So the screen quality then, the winner has to be the BittBoy out of these two. There's actually a little black bar at the bottom of the screen on the BittBoy, whereas on the Odroid-Go there isn't. So you have actually got a bigger screen on the Odroid-Go, but what that means is you're not getting a complete one-on-one pixel representation of the screen, which isn't a massive deal because if you don't put them side by side, the Odroid-Go still has a really nice looking screen. And you'll be able to see here that the Odroid-Go has a slightly bigger screen there than the rest of them. The BittBoy is definitely the one-on-one there. What I think we'll do is we'll just have a look at the save states for each of these and show you how easy it is to save on the BittBoy and on the Odroid-Go. So what we'll do is I'll quickly run through each of these and we'll have a quick save and yeah, we'll see which one does it better or if they're probably going to be the same, to be honest with you. I'm noticing on the Odroid-Go there's definitely the most screen tear, although on the BittBoy there is also a little bit of screen tear as well. I did talk about that in the review that I just had done on my channel. Not a massive amount, but it's still very prominent. I think that's just down to the refresh rate and the fact that these are being done on modern IPS screens as opposed to the old pixel screens that I was talking about before. So if I press continue on here, it says that the save is now done. And we'll just do it the conventional way and turn both of these off, which is a little bit of a shame because now I might have to do that level again. So if I turn them both back on again, what you will notice on the Odroid, which is something that was absolutely incredible, is that it just continues from where it was turned off, which means that not only is it actually loading this ROM onto some sort of local memory, but that means that if you accidentally turn it off, it automatically saves, or if you need to, put it away or something or go out, then it automatically saves. And what you can do as well, if you press the menu button, is it will actually save it there for you. So you can see the little clock, the timer popping up. And then when you go back in, it will play it from exactly where you left off. So the Odroid saving system is absolutely excellent. So we saved it inside the game ROM. We didn't save it on the memory of the BittBoy. From at least what I know, I only did it on the normal save that you would do on an actual Game Boy. So let's just have a look and see what's happened here. So it hasn't saved. So the way that we did it there on the BittBoy wasn't correct. So let me quickly do this this first level again, and then we'll try and save in-house on the actual BittBoy itself and see how that save system works. So you press the little R button right here, and then you have an option at the top which says save. So if we click on that and we click where it says no archive and we click save, it looks like it will now save it on here. So we'll also save it on here as well and actually just do that again. Make sure that that is how that works. And we'll turn it off and load that again. Press start. And then we press the R button, and where it says save, what we want to do is select that and click read, and it will load us straight back to where we were. So that's pretty good, to be honest with you. Not quite as fast as the Odroid, but definitely still a perfectly functional save state. There was no screen tearing on the Retro Mini, which was fantastic when it first came out. But unfortunately, the lag on this thing, it just can't be ignored. You can see it there, the frame rate issue is super low. There was a lot of speculation when this first came out, whether or not the screen was the same one that was used in the Game Boy Micro. Which may be the case. I think I remember there being a little bit of a color issue on this, but unfortunately the lag on this thing is so hard to ignore that this really puts it to the bottom of the food chain, unfortunately. So for my final thoughts, if I was to go out and pick up any one of these things, it would definitely be the BittBoy. In terms of price, they're all pretty much exactly the same. The Odroid-Go when it first came out was around $40. The BittBoy right now is $40, and the Retro Mini you can pick up for about $30 to $35, so it's a little bit cheaper. I would definitely say the BittBoy has to be my favorite one, just in terms of the fact that the size of it is just gorgeous. It looks the most like a Game Boy. The emulation works the best. Yeah, I think that is just, for me, the reason why this thing wins. So the last thing for us to do is tear this apart. A lot of you people were interested on what was on the inside of this, so I shall do that. Obviously the Odroid-Go came somewhat disassembled. You had to build it yourself, which I think is a really nice little neat feature. So yeah, we have seen what's on the inside of that. And the Retro Mini is just pretty cheap, to be honest with you. I did tear down the last BittBoy, and it was pretty underwhelming inside, pretty much the same as what we're used to seeing on all of the cheap consoles on AliExpress and stuff, so nothing too interesting in there. But it'll be interesting to see what's in this one. So the quality of the board has definitely improved. It's a lot bigger, it's stretched out into the corners here. There's a flat Lego piece connector right there, which I've just been able to pop off quite easily. And let's see how we can go about removing this. Oh, so we have the boards. All looks pretty standard. It's definitely an improved quality over the last one, which I really like. We've got a few micro switches and we've got a few of the regular contact pads. You can see the speaker there is super duper tiny, and yeah, everything looks pretty solid. It's got a really nice weight to it, so it doesn't feel particularly cheap. Looks like it's definitely been crafted and designed very well, so that's quite cool. Now I'm noticing on the actual screen that there seems to be two screens. So it has actually got a tiny little LCD screen rather in there. That is interesting. Not sure what that's for. It doesn't do anything. It just displays a white picture, but quite funny nevertheless. One of the things that I'm very excited about on the actual new BittBoy is that it has a headphone jack. The Retro Mini does have one, but the Odroid-Go doesn't. So we turn it on. Got my little speaker here. That is loud. I really hope you have enjoyed this video comparison. Definitely three really cool products. They're all kind of good in their own ways. I just prefer the BittBoy. Mainly for me, it's got to be just because it's such a cute little design, and it basically looks like a micro Game Boy, which is what we all want in our lives, really. The emulation on all of them isn't quite perfect yet. I think the reason why that is, it's just because they're trying to make it as affordable as possible. So I don't think they're going to be using the highest of quality of products across all of them, but they're definitely moving in the right direction. So really happy with how this looks. We are going to be giving away 6 of these. BittBoy actually contacted me and said that they're going to be giving away 6 of these to my subscribers. All you have to do is go to their Facebook page, which will be at the top link in the description of this video. Follow their Facebook page, comment and like on their new picture that they're going to put up of me holding a BittBoy, and make sure you're subscribed to this channel and that you're following them on their Facebook page. I think that's the only rules. So go ahead and check that out. That'll be in the description. Hope you guys have all enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next video. Goodbye. I didn't say peace. Exactly. Got to switch it up, you know.